Storytelling is not an easy craft. We have all at least once in our lives tried to create a good and attractive story. Although when it comes to making a film out of a story, the whole process seems even harder. No wonder we often come across films and series that do not grab our attention and are not popular among viewers. However, there are writers and directors who we can surely call masters in that matter. When their name appears, we can be sure that we will not be disappointed with the plot and can expect something really great. This is exactly how Quentin Tarantino prepares his works. What is the secret of his immense success in the film industry? Well, watch and see for yourselves. Here we are going to try to answer the question, what is the secret of Tarantino's success? Quentin Tarantino's works are quite characteristic and have been admired by many throughout the years. His films are not very straightforward, hide a lot of surprises and second bottoms, surprise and sometimes astonish the viewers, and that is for sure a great advantage. The audience know that something is about to happen, that there must be something else, something more than we see on the screen. This feeling is overwhelming. It is not an easy thing to achieve, as many directors and script writers cannot prepare a story that way. Going straight to the point, they miss that piece of awaiting for something, called suspension. Very often, this kind of feeling is described as keeping the viewers on the edge of their seats. Tarantino is definitely a master at that matter. The scenes take longer. There is the sense of mystery and tension between the speakers. Conversations are about something and nothing but the audience keeps waiting. Incredible and addictive. The idea is not to get to the climax of the scene, to the very murder or fight, but to take the viewer along the way from presenting the problem. Getting to it step by step, not running straight to the finish line. It is like putting a bomb under one of the tables that everyone knows about. It is going to explode, but no one knows when and how. It is there. Make us wait and get more and more interested in the outcome of the whole situation. The audience has to know something. Some disturbing element has to be there among the characters. They know a lot, but they do not know everything. That is suspension. Hey, if you want to learn more about Tarantino's works, subscribe to our channel and like it, just to make sure you will not miss any of our other videos and ideas. A good dialogue and a good scene also includes something that can be called a subtext, often used by Tarantino in his films. It is like a thought, an idea, a piece of truth that is present but is not revealed. It is expected but nobody says that. A subtext is not easy to introduce into the scene, as it involves special looks, movements, or gestures. At the same time, it is often difficult to distinguish at the first viewing. It takes time and a big dose of concentration to catch those nuances. And Quentin Tarantino is really good at this. He makes the actors practice over and over again up to the moment when he is able to obtain the awaited result, the exact amount of tension and secret. And there is one more thing that makes us, the viewers, love Tarantino's works and presents him as a role model when it comes to learning how to make a good and interesting script. It is a hint, a hook, or sometimes called a pledge. Something like throwing an idea, catching the audience's attention, but once again not revealing the bigger picture. It makes people want to explore the adventure, find out what the characters were talking about and why did they say it. Do you remember the first sentence in Pulp Fiction? That is too risky. That is all. However, entails such a big amount of interest. What are they talking about? Is there a bigger plan? What is dangerous? What is risky? That is it. That is like a promise that something will happen, that there will be more, and that it is going to be good. Tarantino does not explain the problem at once, does not show what the film is going to be about. He gives a hint, a kind of a bait that makes people want to follow the plot, that gives them the feeling of discovering something, of getting to the bottom of the problem by themselves. It makes the movie less apparent and more absorbing. It is something that we can compare to giving a promise that there is going to be something greater, not obvious, not plain. It does not have to lead to a dangerous matter, to a conflict or a disaster. It is enough to catch the viewer's attention, to make them sit back and feel the atmosphere of the story. In fact, the viewers know only that it is not all. That there has been something before now, and that they have to catch up with a bigger picture. It makes people think and wonder, and that is something extremely interesting and well constructed in all Tarantino's films. Let's take a look at his production to get the idea of his work. In Inglourious Basterds, during the scene in the French farmer's house, when a German soldier comes to find Jewish family. The whole scene makes the audience hold their breaths. It could have been done quickly and with a great boom, but Tarantino decided to prolong the whole conversations, suspension and tension at the same time.
I've heard that the Führer has put you in charge of rounding up the Jews left in France. Why they're hiding or passing for Gentile?
Although the whole scene begins with a serious but polite exchange of information, a moment later the audience is informed about the dread of the situation. Just beneath the men's feet, under the table they are sitting at, under the wooden floor, the Jewish family is hiding quietly but in panic. This makes everyone's heart sink, the tension builds up. The German officer, called Landa, seems to have no idea about the situation he is in. However, step by step, it is getting more and more obvious that something is surely wrong here. It is not going to be that easy. The worst scenario may come true.
If one were to determine what attribute the German people share with a beast, it would be the cunning and the predatory instinct of a hawk. But if one were to determine what attributes...
It is disturbingly easy to imagine the consequences for the French farmer and the Jewish family. Yet, still the viewer has some hope that it may go in another direction, that there can be some kind of distraction, some turn of events, suspension, subtext. The thing that grips the audience and holds it till the last possible moment, till the climax of the scene. It is all here, and it is a masterpiece that we just should expect of Tarantino's picture. It could be done faster, maybe even more effectively when it comes to the screams and shootings, but this is how the real emotions are awakened in the viewer. The conversation, the revealing of another hints just one by one, without hurrying up, without saying everything at the beginning. That is why people love Tarantino and his way of telling stories. They admire him for the mystery, for the atmosphere, for making them think and go through it all. There is rarely anything put straightforward. A lot of his scenes really need to be watched on and on until the viewer is able to catch all the small things hidden among the lines, glances and moves. What is more, almost each conversation has some strings attached, something more than just words and a simple dialogue. Something is going on, no matter if it is only a fuss over the name of a dish or a matter of life and death. No exchange of ideas is insignificant or plain. That is the beauty of Tarantino's scripts. We can discover them step by step, and there is no wonder so many upcoming writers and directors look up to his works and try to learn from it. Another great example of the idea so characteristic for Quentin Tarantino is in the before-mentioned movie. During a party, a German officer approaches a group of soldiers pretending to be Italians. Generally, what looks like a polite conversation is in reality a probe for those men, a show of abilities and tension between all of them.
Gorlami. Mi scusi con me? Gorlami.
Ancora una volta.
Gorlami.
They exchange basic information, and at first sight everything seems to be alright and quite normal. But it is not. It is the Tarantino scene. There are hints. There are looks, and there is much more than just what is visible. The German officer wants to find out if the American soldiers are spies, if his suspicion is right. However, instead of asking them straightforward questions, he asks them to present themselves and makes them repeat their Italian names time after time, making funny faces as the scene goes on. An attentive viewer can feel that something is wrong, that he does not really believe them. At some point, he even congratulates one of them on pronouncing his own surname. Isn't it weird? Who does that? Who congratulates in that situation? That reveals his doubts, his second thoughts, like he's congratulating the guy on pretending so well. There is the truth between them, which is not said aloud. Attention can be felt by everyone, but they keep playing their roles. The viewer is on the edge of his seat thinking, when will this giant balloon in the room explode? That is the real cinema. That is the filmmaking that makes people want to go to the theater. Quentin Tarantino is for sure a master in what he does with his scripts. They are never boring. They are attractive. They are interesting. They aren't plain. That is the quintessence of a good movie. That is what makes us think that he would make a brilliant horror film that would stay in our heads forever and make us wonder,